So today I'm going to be talking about a touchy subject, and I know it's going to ruffle some feathers, but I think it's an overdue conversation. And I'm using my old school Jamaican passport as a microphone. So follow along. There is no secret that Jamaica has a corruption problem. It's been well documented over the decades. The problem persists across political parties, across agencies and ministries. We are in a current avalanche of corruption and mismanagement in Jamaica. If you've been following Jamaican news recently, there have been reports after reports of missteps, oversights, irregularities in the oldest administration. I'm going to quickly review and share why that matters and why corruption is holding back Jamaica's development. There is a long list of current events that have revealed that there is a serious issue with management and the processes that oversees the people's money. First, earlier this year, there was an Auditor General's report that shared that the University Hospital of the West Indies had various issues concerning procurement, the usage of tax exemption for private companies, leadership issues, and also issues of procurement. There was a lengthy report that revealed private companies were using the hospital's tax exemption certificate to purchase goods that they would then resell in the open market. So they were purchasing goods for their private companies using the hospital's tax exemption certificate. And that matters because in turn, they did not have to pay taxes, which means that it is less money that is collected by the government to use for services such as infrastructure, education, healthcare, and so on. Then there was, this is in no particular order, but just summarizing, there was a report that stated that the National Waste Commission had senior management who did not have the requisite qualifications to occupy the posts that they do. Keep in mind, there are often complaints about delayed waste collection, about the huge issues of garbage in major town centers across the country. Then we reflect on Hurricane Melissa, which occurred in October of last year. Like many of you, the Jamaicans who were abroad, we came together and we found ways to assist our family members. We found ways to, employ the resources of our coworkers and neighbors and other community members so that we could, as quickly as possible, aid the folks who were underground and suffering after that massive Category 5 storm. Now, it's revealed that of the money that was donated to support Jamaica, only 1% has been used for relief efforts. So the other 99% is still in a bank account somewhere. There is no expenditure plan accompanying it. So then it begs the question, why is it taking so long to assist people who have been devastated after this hurricane? And even going back before Hurricane Melissa, there was Hurricane Beryl almost 2 years ago. I have family members who were impacted by Hurricane Beryl almost 2 years ago. They had flooding indoors, they had roof damages, they had to leave their home in the middle of the storm to seek shelter. And it's revealed that there are millions in Jamaican dollars of Hurricane Beryl relief dollars that have not been distributed to people. And it begs the question, why? Why have you not distributed that money to people who could use it? Again, my family member who was impacted, I asked them after Hurricane Beryl, because I saw a news article, if they, received any information about this relief. And what their response was is the government picks and chooses who they want to assist. Let that sink in. The government picks and chooses who they want to assist. Okay, back to the topic of hurricane relief. So now we are in May of 2026, 6 months after the storm, and there is so much widespread confusion about all of the different programs the government has put forward to, they say, assist folks. There's a roofs program that is supposed to help people repair their roofs. That program has since closed applications, and there have been numbers of individuals who have said that folks came out to assess their homes and they weren't there, so they couldn't correspond with the people. They're with a neighbor, they had to move elsewhere because their home has been destroyed. Or there are instances where someone came out to do an assessment, but they get a communication later on that their application cannot be found in the system, and unfortunately, they cannot be awarded the roofs grant. And that's all very confusing, because if you came out and saw that the person had legitimate damages and that their home has suffered, substantial damage, first of all, why is it that you can't find their application? That's a huge systems issue, because what happened to the application? And then second, why were they denied? And then you say you cannot tell them what the reason is. That is a huge cause for concern. So now we're at a point where the NARA bill has passed, and that bill is for recovery. And according to NARA, the Prime Minister will choose a CEO of NARA, and NARA will be tasked with all manners of reconstruction efforts. Allegedly, it is supposed to hasten the speed of reconstruction, so as it concerns roads, buildings, etc., etc. And it begs the question, how can we be sure that NARA will do its job in an efficient and streamlined way when previously we haven't been shown that this administration is taking the needs of the people at the level of the utmost importance that it should be? How do we know that this government is operating in a people-centered and heart-centered approach when almost 2 years later, the money that was allocated for Hurricane Beryl relief is still sitting in a bank account? We are now at a point in our nation's history where we need better systems. We need better governance. We need better development. There are rural communities where the roads are deplorable. There is a lack of water. The schools are in need of renovation. The hospitals are overburdened. Pay has stalled. And when people see that there is a small section of the population who are living large, they're getting fat, but the average person is struggling, and the government who collects taxes and who is voted in to act in their best interest is not doing so, it begs the question, Why are they there? And why is it that after so many decades, so many communities are still in the same place that they were 30, 40, 50 years ago?